Artists, welcome to Global Talk Show by Business Bar Academy, Netherlands. And today we have a super amazing guest from Bahamas. And she is none other than Tavara Johnson. Welcome, Tavara, to our show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's definitely a pleasure to be here with you this morning.
Great. This journey, I tell you, is going to be super awesome, super energetic, because if I talk about Dr. Tavara, she is an amazing personality. She is a certified life professional, Christian coach, and a speaker, author, certified leadership consultant, and the background says everything which I will not speak now. Great one. And here I'm so super excited to take this journey on, and let's start it up. Great. Well, Tavara, I have introduced you very minimal lines, but still my global audience wants to know everything from you now. Yeah, your incredible journey.
All right. So my journey has definitely been one I would say interesting. And so one of the things I actually started out doing in terms of starting it all, I actually started doing women's empowerment event, believe it or not. And my journey turned into shortly after I did a devotional for singles. Of course, I did the women's empowerment events for a few years. And then eventually I kind of shifted into leadership. And so, my desire back then was for women to be healed and whole so that they're able to live a more abundant life. And now, even though I'm shifted to doing leadership, dealing with leaders, whether you're manager, supervisor, aspiring manager, new manager, emerging leader, executive leader, whatever you may be, has shifted now to training, equipping, and developing, as well as coaching leaders. And so I love leadership. I do know that, we can have training all we want, but sometimes I always say leadership, training, I should say, cannot fix heart issues. And so sometimes this is where the self-leadership comes into play in terms of things that we need to address as a leader. And then, of course, also I'm an author, which you mentioned. So I think I have 4 books. I have a singles devotional, one on prayer. There's also another collaborative book titled Dream on the Rise. And the recently one that was launched last year was the Emerging Leader Strategies to Navigate Your Leadership Journey. And so that is also for, even though we say emerging leaders, other leaders as well can utilize it. And of course, being a coach, that's important to me. I am a woman of faith. I'm a woman of God. So I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. And so for me, I believe that you cannot separate your faith from the things that you do. Of course, you are in different environments, but your faith is needed. The guidance of the Holy Spirit and God is needed in order to be able to sometimes deal with some of the issues that you're dealing with, as well as dealing with the issues that you're helping people with. And of course, I am a licensed minister as well. So
this is really amazing.
Yeah,
this is great.
Yes. And I've been in the human resources industry for over a decade. So I'm versed in other areas as well, so like employee relations, talent acquisition, recruitment, benefits. So so I'm excited about it all. And so in a nutshell, of course, I'm a radio host. I do my own radio show, I have my own magazine as well. So these are some of the amazing things that I do. And I'm just truly grateful to God for, allowing me to do these things, as well as saying, hey, this is some of the purpose that I have for you to fulfill while you're here on earth.
Dr. Tavara, I don't have any words to say now because you have completed everything. And I must say, you're really a vivacious, multi-talented person, and such a vivacious personality. Today I'm hosting. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Great one.
Thank you.
And the more one I really loved and respected when you said about Christian coach, it's really Christian ministries. Whatever you do in your life, when you are dedicated to your Lord and God, everything is very, very easy. And that's I
Yes.
totally reciprocate, Dr. Tavara. That's
Yes.
awesome, an inspiring journey. And hope my global audience must be getting lot of inspiration and they are supercharged after hearing your incredible journey. Hats off to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Tavara, moving to my lovely and incredible journey, outstanding journey with Dr. Tavara, I would love to know in your life, what kind of challenges you had faced. Challenges can be anything. And we would love to know how you have overcome those challenges.
Well, definitely there's no success without, I believe, sacrifice as well as challenges, right? Yeah. And so for me,
Exactly.
I would say, for example, when I was on the singleness journey, with helping single women, that came, of course, as a result of, failed relationships, some of the things that I would went through. And so for me, it was just really wanting to be able to help other individuals. Now that I have, and of course, that particular book was titled the devotional, The Weight of the Weight. And of course, as women, especially if you're single, there is a weight in waiting, right?
Exactly.
So a part of me kind of almost after at one point I was like, man, I don't know if I should have titled the book that. I know God gave me the title, but I realized that when we talk about titles, whether it is in conferences, whether it's in a book, sometimes you live out what that particular title is, right? And I realized, like, I was like, wow, like I wrote this book. I mean, it sounded good. I know this is God, this is what God was telling me to do. But I realized I actually went through that whole feeling that weight of waiting. And so for me, that was that was a challenge to me. So I really got into a space where I really worked on myself. And of course, the only thing for me and being able to overcome these challenges is really my relationship with God. I know sometimes people, it may seem a bit cliche, but really, I mean, and I always say this all the time, he has the master blueprint. He knows what he desires for me. Who better to go to than him for all of my solutions or whatever problems that I may
Yeah.
be facing. And so from the singleness side, that's one of the things I went through. Of course, being accepting the call to even be a minister was something that was a bit challenging for me because, again, we never feel like we're worthy of it. For me, I recognize the weight that came with saying that you're a minister, that you want to uphold these standards and knowing that even as a leader, people are going to be looking at you in a particular way. There are some things that you cannot do. And if you're not careful, you can almost become a bit resentful and feeling like God is holding you to this high standard when there are some
Exactly.
people who's able to get away with some things that you cannot get away with. And so it really requires you to live at another level and just to be mature and just some things you just cannot do. So I had a hard time initially accepting that. I was okay with doing the work but not having the title. Of course, I'm not big on titles, so that was one part of it. And the other part was like, okay, well then once I do this, I'm saying to people, okay, well, you can hold me to this extremely high standard, right? Of course, you're not perfect, so we will make mistakes, but the key is to ensure that whatever you do to the best of your ability. You apologize when you need to, remain humble so that you're able to, be able to flow with God.
Exactly.
So that was a part of ministry thing for me. And then, of course, dealing with leadership. Well, I've experienced great leadership as well as toxic leadership. I've sat under both. And so for me, is not wanting to be like, especially the toxic leaders, right? I believe that if you're going to work on a job 8 hours a day, you're spending most of your waking hours with family, with persons who aren't your family. You should be comfortable on the job. And so for me, my whole thing is to be able to bring leaders to the place where they understand what leadership really is. It's not about a title. Yes, you're gonna get it, but it's not about the title. It's not about saying, well, oh, I have this power now. I can lord over people. And
Yeah.
so I just really want a person to be able to have that perspective, but more so too from a perspective of self-leadership. Once you are secure in who you are of course, as an individual, but especially as a leader, then you won't take the approach of let me lord over people, or putting yourself in a position where you feel that,
Yeah.
because I'm insecure, I'm not going to promote someone, or I'm not going to give them information. There's so many leaders who I see, sometimes they try to do certain things like that to hold individuals back because of their insecurities, because of some of the things that they would have, even trauma, like what they would have went through, that would have now changed their personal values. And so for me, I am extremely passionate about leadership. I believe people should be comfortable. Like I say, persons aren't, um, as humans, we're not perfect. So of course there will be mistakes. You will have to make certain decisions that some people may not necessarily like, they may not agree with. But my thing is, I believe that even if persons don't agree with it, they can still respect you as the individual. And so for me, it's a whole lot to unpack. And then also
Yeah.
just with my show, right? Wanting to be able, and it made me get to the place where I wanted to give persons an open door. I wanted to be a door opener for people, right? Because I know what it is to have people to intentionally stagnate me or do certain things so I don't progress. And so I'm like, God, I don't want to be like that. But at the same time, one of the challenges is that when you experience these things, how are you going to respond? Are you
Definitely.
going to what they call clap back? Are you going to be negative, be bitter? And my thing was, I never want to be like that. So I always try, no matter what people do to me, to maintain a positive attitude. I go to God. If it bothers me, I'm like, listen, let this thing, I don't want this thing to get in my heart, because I know what it is to kind of almost be miserable, be unhappy. That's not a good feeling. And then again,
So
I
true.
tell people, I like to look cute. So, and sometimes when you're unhappy and you're miserable, like that thing shows on your face. So, yeah, so
Exactly.
that's why I've done some of the things, even the magazine, give persons a voice to speak and allow people to know who they are, and just to put out there what value they are bringing here while they too are on earth. So that's some of the challenges, some of the things that why I do some of the things that I do.
Exactly, Dr. Tavara. Only one thing is coming in my mind. If I am looking to your challenges, I must say that these challenges had never ever stopped you from doing what you wanted to do in your life. And these have only inspired you. Maybe for half an hour, you would have thought, okay, let's give up. But the 31st minute, you have said, yes, Tavara, let's move on. And that's the spirit, Dr. Tavara, what you are reflecting today, what you are giving to the society today. So I am overjoyed and I'm so, so happy to listen when a woman says to move on, because women,
Yeah.
we think, society thinks she's so fragile, she's so smart, she's so tender, but they don't know the actual power in a woman lies
Yeah.
within. And that too, when you are saying you're a Christian coach, definitely the positivity is lying around you. And nobody, I bet you, I bet, nobody can take those positivity, zeal and zest from you, Dr. Tavara. So hats off to you for a lovely,
Thank
brilliant journey. Thank you so much for this lovely answer. Great one.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share. And I would definitely say, like, it doesn't, as women, at least I know for me, there is a particular tenacity that I have. I
Yeah,
don't believe that it's me. I do believe that it's some, I call it an internal drive,
that,
but like the Bible tells us, not by might, not by power, but it's by the Spirit of the Lord. So I know that it's Him that's giving me this push, because there are times when I could literally, and I would tell people, like, I could feel the wind of God pushing me
yeah,
to say, listen, keep going, like keep going. And for me, I do think at times where if I stop, I will never get to where I want to be, or I would never even get to where I think I should be or where I should be. And so it really does give me a drive to just keep going. It
exactly.
really does.
And one word for you, you are unstoppable, Dr. Tavara.
Yes. Thank you so much. I do believe that, and thank you so much.
Exactly. This line is true for you. Well, moving to a lovely journey with Dr. Tavara, I would love to know the background is Maxwell leadership team. And I, yeah, thanks for showing me. And I want to know what exactly it is and what you do in this coaching or sort of things, and would love to know your work now.
Awesome. So yes, I am officially Maxwell Leadership Certified. I remember, watching John Maxwell some years ago, even when I was younger. And I was like, I want to be a part of the organization. Like I want to be certified. And then it got to the place where I say, I want to serve in the organization too, right? To be able to serve. And so for me now, I decided to, again, growth is important to me. I believe that we cannot pour out or give what we do not have, right? We should be giving also from an overflow. And so for me, again, it goes back to me desiring to train and equip as well as coach leaders, because I realize leadership is hard, it's not always
Yeah.
easy. Some people are placed in positions because they are able to perform the task, but they lack the soft skills. They lack the interpersonal skills. They lack the emotional intelligence, being able to build relationships. So much that they lack, and they're making it so hard for people, for other persons on the job, making them discouraged. It's just so much. And so for me, one of the things I do is, like I said, I train and equip them. I bring an awareness. There are different types of programs that I'm also licensed to teach from the Maxwell group, but then there's also some of my own programs that I do have as well. And so whether it is from an organizational standpoint, whether it is individuals wanting one-on-one coaching, we do that. I do have the Corporate Leaders Lab. It's a Facebook group that I utilize just to be able to provide some encouragement. I want it to be a safe space. And I told the person in there, listen, you could share if you want to. You are allowed to post anonymously, so no one would be able to see some of the issues or challenges that you may have, even while you're in there. And so it's also to be a place of equipment, like to do some trainings and everything else, some mini trainings as well. And so that is so that is some of the things that I do. I will be coming up with a few more programs. So I was going to be launching in another maybe 2 months, and
Great one.
it's going to be for leaders, to really help to restore them. There are times where leaders go through things and they make missteps,
Yeah.
and sometimes persons, they don't help to restore them. They almost kind of kick them while they're down. I see persons don't do a really good job at restoring leaders whenever they do make mistakes or they do have certain mishaps. And again, be a safe space for them. It's going to be a new program. So it's going to be one-on-one coaching, and where we just really dive into a whole lot of self-leadership. We will have leadership society. I am DISC certified consultant and trainer. So I do DISC assessments as well, which is also leadership assessment. So you're able to know your communication style, how you function. If persons desire to, let's just say you want to hire someone and you're not sure, we're able to do that as well from a HR standpoint. I'm able to do that as well to help or to assist in who you choose for your organization. So these are some of the things that I do. I enjoy doing it. I love doing it, and it's really a passion of mine because I really want to make a difference. I believe in making a difference, and so if I'm able to help one person, they're able to help someone else, and just kind of continue on as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So I have to say only one thing. You are unstoppable in your work also, because getting so much great certification, that's to Maxwell, if I say, that's really great. And hats off to you once again, Dr. Tavara, for being resilient. What so many people are there, I have seen in this journey. They really give up in the last. Okay, I can't go, and they are just get, oh, I'm so tired. But
Yes.
the zeal which you have, always keep the zeal. Just keep moving on. And Dr. Tavara, when I am listening to you, I'm spellbound. Yeah, you're giving me a lot and lot of things how to move on. You're inspiring me. And that's the thing. You are transforming so many lives today. Here, and we can see globally, you are just making everyone happy and transforming. And that's the impactful life journey of yours, says. So thank you so
Yes.
much for this loveliest answer. Well,
Thank you.
moving to this journey from ordinary to extraordinary, I would love to know. We talked about your journey, challenges, and work, and so many things. And now I would love to know your aha moment of your life, which you will say, yes, I was waiting for this moment from time immemorial. And this is my aha or wow moment. So I want to know that loveliest moment of your life.
Um, I think for me, just really, like you mentioned, in terms of being resilient, I think for me, experiencing a lot of those challenges, sometimes it does make you, if you're not careful, it can put you in a place of being bitter, right? So perspective is always important.
Exactly.
And I think for me, the aha moment for me would be knowing that I've dealt with all of these things. And then, like I said earlier, can still feel God literally like pushing me, right? Because I have a strong relationship with Him. Of course, I spend time with Him daily. So I can feel His tangible presence. So for me to be able to look back to see where I used to be and to see that where I'm at now, it's like, wow, I never imagined, if I be honest, my thing was I would go to school, be a corporate lawyer, have my family, and that would be it. And so to even look back and see, to be able to look back and see what I thought my life would have been to what it is now, I never imagined. Because believe it or not, people won't believe it. I'm an introvert, right? I
You
am an
don't seem so.
introvert.
Dr.
I,
Tavara, you
I
don't seem so you're an introvert. You're a great extrovert, I must say.
but I understand that by virtue of the things that I'm doing, it requires me to step outside of my comfort zone. It requires me to do that if I'm really going to reach, to reach individuals and get to the place that God desires me to be. And so I would say my aha moment would really be looking back and saying, I never thought that I would have been here. Like I never did. And even when I began to start doing some of the things that I'm doing in that, I think it was probably like maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I started doing women's empowerment event. I still never thought I would have been in this space where I'm at. So it really is like a wow, like aha moment for me, just being able to look at my journey, to see where I was, to see where God has me. And I know this is just the beginning. So I don't even know where all it's going to take me. But like I told God, I'm willing and ready to go on the ride wherever it's going to be taking me. So that would be, I would say, like my aha or my wow moment for me.
Wow. This is so, so great. And I think every moment of your life is a aha moment, because when you are resilient, when you are so dedicated, passionately, you're working, and when you are under the protection of God and Lord. So every moment of your life is aha moment, and that really inspires you with and gives you a lot of energy to do work,
Yes.
to move on and be unstoppable. So that's the word I will use again now.
Yes. Thank you.
Great one. So, Dr. Tavara, this is really an exciting and very inspiring journey of yours. And I'm sure people who are watching us live, they are getting lot and lots of wisdom of nuggets. So thank you for this lovely journey. And now the question comes, what is Dr. Tavara's mission? Yeah.
So my mission is really just to equip, to train, and of course, just to bring people to a level of wholeness in their life. Because once you know who you are, you're comfortable with who God has called you to be, you'll never be intimidated by other people. You would see other people as persons who I can collaborate with, persons who I can move and shake with, persons who I can learn from, glean from.
Yeah.
And so for me, my mission is really to be able to bring people to a place of healing and wholeness, because I realize when persons don't have that, their outlook is different. Like I said, because I would have been there, right? your outlook tends to be a bit warped, so to speak, right? And for persons to understand, especially now, leaders understand that it's okay for me to train other people. It's okay for me to share my knowledge, beyond the, well, I'm just going to share here so you don't get past me. And so again, all of that goes to healing. So if you are healed, if you master self leadership as best as you can, then you're able to really assist others. And so my mission is really just to bring about the healing and the wholeness and to really equip, because again, I believe people should be, no one should have to be miserable on the job or uncomfortable on the job or have those days where, oh my God, do I have to go to this job again? Right?
Yeah,
So you may talk about the corporate space, but just for people to really know who they are, be comfortable with your measure, whatever that may be. God knows that there are some people who's willing to go the distance and go beyond. He knows those who want to do that and those who don't. So all of that depends on how far you go. Like, we determine how far we go, really.
exactly.
So that would be, I would say, some of my mission.
And Dr. Tavara, I will wish you lot and lot of success for your mission to accomplish, and your vision and mission should get lot and lot of happiness, success, and whatever you have thought in your life, that you must achieve it. So my heartfelt wishes to you for your future. And this is the loveliest vision or mission I can see what you have told to me just now. Super awesome. Great one.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Tavara, I never felt that this is an interview, really. It is just like having a cup of coffee with you face to face. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have came to an end of our interview. But before I say adieu or bye to my global audience and you, I would love to know your message to my audience who are waiting for.
I would definitely say to them, just keep going, keep building. I know it's not always easy. Yes, there are challenges, there are roadblocks, but just to keep going, keep pressing. Eventually, you would get there if you don't give up, right? The Bible tells me to reap and be faint not. So that really means that you just have to keep going. I would also say change your perspective. Try to see, it's not always going to be easy, but try to see God in all of what you're doing, all of what may be going on around you. Find out what's the lesson to learn, right?
Yeah.
I always say I don't like to take these tests multiple times. I try to get it right away. And so the things that I'm telling you is the things that I do myself. That helps me to be, resilient, always try to change your perspective. And whatever you do, continue to keep growing. Whatever that growth looks like for you, whether it's another certification, it's a degree, it's a course, whatever it may be, just to continue to grow, because that helps to also edify you as well. So you're able to help to pour out to others. And, I'll be remiss to say, not even to for persons to say, well, hey, have a relationship with God. If you don't know him, try to get a relationship with him. If you do, you need to work on your relationship, try to work on it, spend some more time, and you'll be surprised to see how your life will really turn around. Your situation might not change immediately, but your atmosphere is going to shift. The way how you look at things, the way, even in the midst of whatever you may be facing, or your storm, as they call it, you're still able to find a level of peace to keep going and keep pressing. And so that would be my final advice to your global audience.
And your message really, really is a boon today for everyone who is listening, because it's just like listening a holy soul who is preaching us, who is teaching us to move on in life, no matter whatever happens. And when you are totally dedicated to God, you will feel you're totally half relaxed. All of the
Yeah.
burden suddenly moves from your life. And that's the beautiful message, Dr. Tavara, you have given to me and my global audience. So heartfelt thanks to you for this lovely evening, which I would say here evening. And
Yes.
other parts, good morning and good afternoon. So thank you so much once again for accepting my mission and this talk show guests. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for having me. That was a pleasure. It just really, like you said, just felt like a conversation having coffee.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.